You want to see me review this movie real quick? You want to see me do it again?
Oh look, another Batman movie. Great. Can't get enough of this character. Alright, all jokes aside, I do like Batman as a character, and Bruce Wayne as a character as well. But do we really need another Batman movie? I'm not tired of the characters per se, but I mean, like, I don't know, like, aren't there other characters that we could focus on maybe? No, just Batman? Alright, let's talk about it. The story follows Batman as a more brute and vengeful type of person, as opposed to what we're used to seeing, which is the heroic type of Batman, where he finds himself looking through many clues and many letters delivered from the Riddler in different hiding places, pretty much signaling what crime he's going to commit next. But with Commissioner Gordon on his side, he still managed to solve the riddles, even though he doesn't really get much help doing so. It still leaves him farther away from finding where the Riddler is, therefore leaving them at a standstill, confronting the Penguin, played by Colin Farrell, and even Selena Kyle, played by Zoe Kravitz. Still being the vengeful brute that Batman/Bruce Wayne is, it kind of creates a conflict, not just with solving the mystery, but even just being himself as Batman. And that just kind of creates a sort of dilemma with his quote-unquote heroic duties. As far as the story goes, it's actually fairly simple. Batman has to find the bad guy, he has to take him down, take him to jail, save the day, all that. But I would argue that's kind of the point. They wanted to keep it simple, so that they can focus on more of the psychological and depth of Batman's brutal sort of personality in this movie, which is actually very well done. Robert Pattinson playing the role as Bruce Wayne/Batman does a really good job with this role. In the reverse way of how he played his role in Twilight, it's practically the polar opposite. The fact that he even has this role is kind of a blessing in his career. And he does pull it off really well. Like, the acting in general is actually really well done. There's not really much I can say beyond that, other than, well, everyone does a really good job. I was a little skeptical with the casting when I first saw the trailer, like with Jeffrey Wright playing Commissioner Gordon. Not to say that Jeffrey Wright playing Commissioner Gordon is necessarily a bad thing. It just seemed like sort of a really weird change in comparison to what I'm used to seeing. Saying different interpretations of a character from a comic book can't be interpreted differently. I mean, we have Samuel Jackson playing Nick Fury, even though they look polar opposites in comparison to what they look based on the movie and also the comic. But Commissioner Gordon has been portrayed so many times in so many ways and with so many actors that this obscure of a change kind of creates a little bit of a drastic change that kind of little bit is obscure, but not too off-putting. Because to be fair, Jeffrey Wright does pull it off pretty well. So even with that obscure change, it still works. I mean, it's Jeffrey Wright, you can't go wrong with it. And then there's Colin Farrell playing the Penguin, and just the look of the Penguin just felt kind of off to me. I mean, I'm used to him being like a more miniature type of dwarfy looking character, like a really small character. Like, not small, but like in a way that makes him look sort of like a little person, basically. Kind of like a Danny DeVito. I was actually picturing him more like Peter Dinklage would be. Like, because like he's a dwarf and he fits the role much better than Colin Farrell does. As much as I do like the transformation that they did with Colin Farrell's makeup, I would have preferred a much better placement in terms of the look of the character. Other than that, you know, he does a good job. At least you can't even tell that it's him. He disguises his voice very well. At the very least, he's still putting an effort into making it work. My favorite of the entirety of the film is the lighting, and the color palette is beautiful. Like, the blacks and the reds is actually very well used here. I'm not going to go into much depth with it, but there is a significance in terms of Batman's character, right from the start of the film to how he is at the very end. I won't go too much into it. You have to see it for yourself in order to get what I'm saying. But basically, the color palette are still used in both contexts in the story, while also changing the character as he goes through his journey as being Batman. Not just being the shadow of the night, but also being a hero. And that's what I liked about it. That's my most favorite part in this whole movie. Also, what's interesting throughout the film is that they show Bruce Wayne being more of a Batman than he is Bruce Wayne the whole time. Even when he takes off the mask, you still see in the look in his eye the mindset that he has being Batman. Even though he's not dressed as Batman, he's still acting like he's being the shadow of the night. It's like it's in his mind throughout his entirety of the film, and it's just really interesting to see. It's kind of like if you were to play Batman Arkham Origins. All it is that he has the mindset of just being that brutal type of person while also being a vigilante. He's thinking that all that brutalness that he puts on his foes, all his enemies, any criminal that he finds, it justifies everything that he does, knowing that they're bad guys. So like, it doesn't make him feel terrible. And it's all because it's all due to his loneliness, and that he has no one to look after him, or really no one to care for, except for his butler, obviously, but he doesn't see that. And it's honestly kind of sad when you think about it. If you've seen this film, it's just really, it's sad, basically. That's what I gotta say about that. There was also a funny scene in the movie. I don't think it was really intentional, but I just thought it was funny. There was a fight scene inside the Iceberg Lounge when Batman first goes in. He has to fight a bunch of goons or whatever, and he's inside the club, and everyone's just, like, the music is so loud, basically, and I just thought it was, like... And then there's a scene where where one of them pulls out a shotgun, and is like, "Don't move, I got a shotgun," and then he fires the gun. Like, Batman obviously has a shield around his chest that prevents him from getting wounded from the shot. But no one reacts to it the whole time, and everyone's just like, "Yeah, party, yeah, gunshots, yeah, it just brings to the boom, yeah." I couldn't stop laughing the whole time. I think I was the only one laughing in the theater, and I think people got annoyed, but I couldn't hold it in. I'm sorry, I'm only human, whatever. Also, not a single criminal who actually has a gun ever aims for the face. That is the most exposed part of Batman's suit. So you think they would have tried that, but no, they didn't try it. I thought people in Gotham were supposed to be smart. Also, two other compliments. The fight scenes are actually really well done, very well choreographed, as well as the cinematography, which shoots them really well, as everything else that goes on in the film. It's actually really well done. Like, that basic cinematography is actually not even basic, it's actually very professional. So yeah, the movie's good. The acting's good, the story is good, the costume design is good, lighting is good, the characters are good. The whole movie in general was just good. With that being said, though, can we focus on another DC character now? There's about at least tens and hundreds of other characters that we can focus on. Like, I want to see a movie with the Blue Beetle or something, or Firestorm. Like, two interesting characters that I really like, mostly because I played a lot of Injustice. And they don't really get a lot of attention at all. It's always Batman or Superman or anyone that's mostly well known. I get it. I like marketing and stuff like that. You need to make money or whatever. But comic book movies are already popular. It doesn't matter whether it comes from Marvel or DC or whatever. People will watch it regardless, knowing that these movies exist, knowing that it can be done for them. I'm pretty sure people wanted redemption for Green Lantern or something. I know I do. I don't know. I just feel like Batman is a little repetitive in terms of that. As much as I did enjoy the film, I really want to see someone else get the spotlight. Other than that, go enjoy Batman. You won't regret watching it. And yeah, it's the end of the review. Okay, bye.